What's going on, guys? Ace Approved here. In today's video, we're going to talk about some cheap V8s that you guys can get into. Now, these might not be the most reliable, but I'll kind of go over the reliability and the tuning potential of some. But this is just to get in a V8, especially if you guys are itching to get into a V8 and hear the sound of a V8 and just, having the ability of having a V8. So let's get right into it. So the first V8, and just to clear this up, all these V8s you can probably get under 10K. I did some research into it and got it off of Auto Tempest. So the first vehicle that we're going to look at out of the 6 is the Lincoln LS V8. They made it between the years of 2000 and 2006. And they did make a V6, so make sure that you get the V8 model. They start at about $4,000 and up, so pretty cheap. Mileage is going to vary, but there is a difference. There's 2 different generations, so there's the 2000 to the 2002. The horsepower number is 252 with 267 pound-feet of torque, and the 2003 to 2006 model actually has an upgraded horsepower number to 280, and the torque is 286. The weight is coming at about 3,900 pounds ish, a little bit give or take. And then the 0 to 60 is about 6.6 seconds. So obviously not the fastest, but definitely not, slow. It is rear wheel drive, so if you want to do, burnouts, you can definitely do that. Probably going to do a, one wheel peel, but, still, a fun car to use, nimble, and they sound very great, especially if you, get muffler deletes. There's not really a lot of potential of tuning, very little. Really, all you can really do, like I said, is muffler delete, maybe resonator delete, and really open up that sound. And they do offer like SCT tunes. That'll help it a little bit, give it a little more horsepower. Remove the governor. Other than that, I mean, it's simple stuff, like get wheels, coilovers, tires. The only really common issue that these have is that they're known for like the coolant, like the plastic coolant pieces, like breaking or cracking or anything like that. Fairly simple to replace or repair. Not really major issues. These are a Jaguar V8, so it's not like an American Ford V8. It is a Jaguar V8. So, I mean, I really haven't heard anything or really researched anything bad about these engines, other than the fact that they do have coolant issues because they use, cheap plastic parts from, the early 2000s. So the next vehicle we're going to look at is the Buick LeSabre between 2006 to 2009. It's using a 4.6 liter V8, and it's coming at about $4,000 and onwards. This is using the Northstar V8, which comes in with a horsepower number of 275 horsepower with 295 pound-feet of torque. The weight is about 3,900 pounds, give or take. 0 to 60 about 7 seconds. It is front-wheel drive, so you can take that, however you like, which would be a little bit better in the snow. Out of all the cars that I have on this list, believe it or not, this will probably be the most reliable on the list. Probably behind it will be the Lincoln that I just talked about, but this will probably be the most reliable. Again, this has very little tuning. Really, the only issue is that, this is the Northstar V8. So, I mean, granted, the Northstar V8 has a love-hate relationship. I hear a lot of people say it's a bad engine. There's a lot of people say it's a good engine. In the Buicks, I really haven't seen any issues with the engines. It's usually in the Cadillacs, Northstar V8s, even though kind of similar, but I guess they're tuned a little bit differently. But in these Buicks, they seem to be fairly reliable. And you can do like simple stuff, like muffler deletes and stuff like that. But for the most part, this is probably be the most reliable car on this list. The next vehicle is the Jaguar XJ, and you can get it even a supercharge. Probably looking at the years between 2009 and 2011, using a 4.2 liter, or they make a 5.0 supercharge, and they usually start at about 6,000 and onwards. The horsepower number for the regular is about 300, and then the supercharge offers 420 horsepower. The torque for the regular is about 310 versus the supercharge is 408. And the weight will vary between 4,000 and 4,100 pounds. The 0 to 60, looking at the supercharge, it's a 4.2, which is very impressive, and a 6.2 seconds for the regular, which, again, isn't slow, but, you know, could be better. And it is rear-wheel drive with the top speed of 155 miles per hour, which is definitely good, and the tuning is a lot better on these cars. You know, you can upgrade the supercharger, ECU tunes, long tube headers, coilovers, cold air intakes. There's a lot more that you can do, a lot more wheel options, exhaust options. These have a little bit more to desire. But the problem is it's a Jaguar. We know, if you don't know, British cars not really known to be the best. Usually Jaguar is also in the same brand with Land Rover, so obviously right there is not the best in reliability. The XJ has, give or take, different reviews, different car consumer options of like people saying that, oh, it's a good car, oh, you know, it's bad, but I mean, it's kind of a hit or miss. I mean, really look into it, do your research on it, really get the Carfax for this. This will really tell you a lot about this car. Next up will be the Mercedes S-Class. We're looking between the years of 2000 and 2004 with the 4.3 liter V8. They usually start at about $4,000 and onwards. Horsepower, we're looking at about 275 horses and then 295 pound-feet of torque. The weight is coming in at about 4,100 to about 4,300. 0 to 60 is about 6.7 seconds and varies on what type of year you get. So 6.7 seconds to 7.6 seconds, and you can actually get it in all-wheel or rear-wheel. And the top speed is 155. These are good-looking cars. There is still little tuning for this. They do sound great though, but there is very little tuning. I mean, you can get a cold air and then, you know, the ECU tune, but other than that, I mean, there's not a lot to do with these vehicles. I mean, they're really just made for, you know, luxury at the time. So, but you still get the, you know, the 4.2 liter V8, which is still an impressive, you know, number. Next up is the Audi A8. We're looking at the years between 2000 and 2011 with the 4.2 liter V8. They're starting off at about $5,500 and onwards. The horsepower number is 335 horses with 317 pound-feet of torque. With the weight of 4,200 pounds. 0 to 60 is 5.8 seconds, so that's pretty a decent amount. And this is all-wheel drive. They do not have a rear-wheel drive model. It is only all-wheel drive with a top speed of 155 miles per hour. Now, the tuning is low on these vehicles. This has the 4.2 liter V8, and these are known for the timing chains to go out, and replacing the timing chain is very time sensitive. There is a lot to go into replacing this timing chain. A lot of the times people end up not even repairing it and just getting a new vehicle because the timing chain is located at the back of the engine, and that is very, very labor time consuming, and going to a repair shop is going to be even more expensive, and doing it on your own is just extremely time sensitive, and you got to know what you're doing. And working on these cars, I really recommend that you are handy or maybe save a little extra cash. But I mean, it is a beautiful car. They're fast. Well, let me not say fast, let me say quick. They're quick, and you won't be disappointed with this car. You really won't. Last on my list is the BMW 650i. So this was the very first year that they came out. I think they came out in 2000. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. But we're looking at the beginning of the year all the way up till 2012. They use a 4.8 liter V8, and these come in starting off at $7,500. Now, obviously, the starting off price is the most expensive on our list, but this is also coming in at a pretty nice bargain other than the Jaguar Supercharged version. This coming in at 360 horsepower with 360 pound-feet of torque. Now, those numbers are without a supercharger, so that's naturally aspirated right there. The weight coming in at about between 3,800 to 4,200 pounds. The 0 to 60 is 5.3 seconds. This is rear wheel drive, and I know a lot of people are gonna like this. You can get it in an auto or a manual with the top speed of 151 miles per hour. These have low tuning potential, but man, I'm not gonna lie with y'all, I would get one. I might have to get one. These look really good. These are good looking cars. I can't even lie. But with that being said, they do have a pretty big issue. They're known for the water pumps to go out. So, I mean, yeah, which is an expensive fix unless you can do it yourself, which is just more time consuming. But the cylinder heads also are known for needing replacement. So, that is a very expensive repair. These V8s are not known to be the most reliable, per se, but I feel, if you want me to be completely honest, I always feel that if you take care of your car, always keep up with the maintenance, do what you're supposed to do, never be late on any of your manufacturer maintenance requests, I always feel like the cars can last as long as possible. If I had to pick whatever car I wanted, if I was going to go out and get a car right now, which one I would want, I can't even lie, I will probably want to get the Jaguar, or even between the Audi and the BMW, that's what I would look at. But I'm definitely going to say the safest options will be the Lincoln, the Buick, and probably the Mercedes. I would say those would be the safest. They seem to have the least amount of issues. They seem to be the most reliable. And you can still have fun with those cars. And they still have some tunes with them to give them a little more horsepower. Not so much the Buick, but definitely those would be the safest choices, especially if you want to have like longevity out of it. But that's my list on the cheap cars with V8s. I'm sure I'm going to make another list. So until then, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you.